Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack and today we are reviewing SmackDown Live. A very, very weird SmackDown. I didn't particularly like it. Although it was a very Marmitey SmackDown Live, if you will. You either hate it or you love it. There's no in between. It was very, very weird. I didn't particularly like it, but you might have liked it. Leave a comment down below how you thought SmackDown Live went. And while you're down there, leave a like and hit subscribe as well for more reviews, vlogs whenever we manage to get to a wrestling show, live streams whenever we can live stream, and all that lovely stuff. We kicked off SmackDown Live with the man, Becky Lynch. She came out to a massive pop as expected after what happened on Raw, and she said that she couldn't resist going over to Raw to see into Ronda's angry little eyes, is what she said, once again. And she said, unlike Ronda, she didn't crumble under the pressure when she lost the match. She didn't run away home after she lost the match. She stood back up. She entered the Royal Rumble and she won the whole thing. And it says that Ronda was talking about how she's been at the top of the mountain for 10 years. And Becky says that she's happy to have come from nothing and she's proud of slapping people around the head. And she's proud to now be at the very top of that mountain and to be main eventing WrestleMania. The main eventing, obviously at WrestleMania, WWE's logic of main eventing is every match is a main event. This has to go on last. There's no other choice. This has to go on last. I think there'll be two things. One, this has to go on last. Two, don't add Charlotte into this. There's no need for Charlotte to be into this. Any of those two things happen, then the fans are just not going to be very happy, are they? Becky then says that she's going to break Ronda Rousey's arm in front of the whole entire world at WrestleMania, and if she doesn't believe it, she'll know it when she gets taken away in an ambulance. And it's just like, oh, this is getting feisty. Only for Charlotte Flair to come out, and it's just like, Charlotte, don't do this to us, mate. Come on, just don't do it. She congratulates Becky on, making it from the kickoff show from last year's WrestleMania to the main event, and she's proud that she won the Rumble, even though she wasn't in it. She's proud that she managed to wheel her way in, basically saying what everyone's saying about Charlotte at the moment, like, getting herself into situations where she probably shouldn't be. Becky's managed to do that with the Rumble, and that she's only grown to be the man because of the lessons taught to her by the Queen, which I thought that was a really good line. Actually, I was like, oh damn, okay, Charlotte's coming here and means business. And she also says that Charlotte took Becky to the main event. If it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be a Becky Lynch, essentially. She then laughs in Becky's face and saying that, she's happy for Becky while laughing. Becky looks like she's gonna speak on the mic and just punches her. I can't remember if it's right in the throat like she did last week or in the face. One of the two. It was quite a good punch. It looked like quite a stiff punch as well. And then Becky walks off. She goes to walk back into the backstage area, and Charlotte chases her down, and they start brawling. Obviously, Becky is still selling the injury from the Rumble, the knee injury that she had, and she's still selling that. And they have a brawl before the refs and producers come out and start splitting them apart. Charlotte's laughing in her face, mocking her limping, and Becky's all angry and whatnot. They keep on fighting before they're eventually split apart, and Becky gets sent off to the backstage area. I thought there was a cracking opening start to SmackDown. It put over just how important Becky versus Ronda is, and it put over how much it needs to be in the main event, I feel. And although fans won't like Charlotte being in the main event, I don't think there's a need for Charlotte to be in the main event. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if she did get added. But what I'm thinking is Fastlane, we're probably going to get Becky versus Charlotte. If Charlotte wins, she'll get put into the match or something along those lines. That's how I would probably book it anyway. But that was the opening segment, and it kind of went downhill from there. We had a United States Championship match between the new champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, he won it on the pre-show of the Rumble, off Rusev. And R-Truth, apparently, because R-Truth didn't make it to the Rumble, because he was attacked by Nia Jax, he gets a US title shot. Weird start, instantly. And then what I can only describe as the Phoenix Screwjob. Apparently it was planned. It didn't look planned whatsoever. They played it off really well, to be fair to them. But R-Truth rolled Shinsuke up, and the ref counted to 3, but Shinsuke kind of kicked out on 3, and then he carried on wrestling. But the bell had gone, and they had carried on wrestling, and everyone was just stood around confused. The crowd was kind of like silent, like what's just happened. So R-Truth is your new United States champion, and it was just like, what's going on here? What is going on? Nakamura's all upset and angry. Rusev then comes out and says the United States Championship deserves better than this. It deserves better than R-Truth winning it like that. And he says, come and have a match with me, Truth, and I'll take that title away from you and give it the prestige it needs. R-Truth then beat Rusev after a roll-up. This one, an actual roll-up. It was just out of nowhere. And then Rusev turned heel again. I don't know what's going on. Rusev and Nakamura laid into R-Truth and battered him, both holding Truth up for the match to kick, and then Rusev held Truth up for the Kinshasa. It was the last line of what's going on. It's probably what's going to be the title of this video. What is going on? Because no one knew. This was just. It was just weird. It was just weird. I'm really happy that Truth is United States champion. I think he deserves it from his run. This certainly proves to me that Shinsuke's leaving when his contract's done, because obviously he signed around this time, so his contract's either up tomorrow or the next day as this video goes out, or after WrestleMania. He must be going, but then I don't get why they've buried both Nakamura in that sense and buried Rusev to get the title off him just to put on. I don't understand. And now Rusev's heel again. I don't get it. But Shinsuke's contract must not be up, because after the match, the club, the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, went up to Rusev and said, look, Truth didn't deserve that. And Rusev was like, get out of my business. You don't deserve to be in my business. And set up a match next week for the club. Good to see them next week versus Rusev and Nakamura in a tag team match. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Rey Mysterio then came out for his match. Apparently it was supposed to be against Samoa Joe. That was what was booked beforehand, but that didn't quite happen, as he was waiting for Joe to come out, and Selena Vega came out instead and said that last time you and Andrade faced Rey, you were responsible for me being banned from ringside. Do I distract you that much, Rey? Do I distract you with my presence being there? And before Rey could even answer the question, Andrade, in his nice and sharp suit, attacked Rey from behind, hammerlock DDT. He mocked Eddie Guerrero beforehand, went to do the Three Amigos. Rey countered the last one, went for the 619, but Andrade countered that and hit the DDT. So their feud's not over, which is fantastic, because what we see, we need to see a WrestleMania match between these two, because it would be fantastic. And maybe that would be for the United States Championship. I don't know where it's going from here. But maybe Andrade is going to take it off Truth, and then Rey and Andrade are going to have a match, and you would think that Andrade would retain at Mania. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I'm just glad that the feud's carrying on. Next up, we had the co-besties in the world, Shane McMahon and Miz, the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. I don't know. What I've put in my notes is Shane and Miz come out to make me a bit more confused about what's going on in WWE right now, which is true. Shane brings up a video package of his and the Miz's journey since the World Cup, since Crown Jewel, whatever it's called, and it was like a montage of them, like Shane being all questioning it, and then them getting together, and then them winning the titles at the Rumble. And Shane then brought out Miz's dad, and Miz, he got on the mic and said that he loved the Miz and was proud of him, and he was just like, I don't care. I just don't care. Shane then says that it's one thing to win the titles, it's another thing to defend them, and there will be a fatal 4-way elimination match between 4 tag teams, which were Usos, New Day, The Bar, and Heavy Machinery. No Sanity, which is... Take out The Bar. The Bar don't need to be there. I don't mind Heavy Machinery being there. You need to kind of get him over to a main roster crowd wrestling, but put Sanity in there. Just put him in there. Give him a chance, man. We had that match. I won't go too in depth for the match. There was a nice little lock-up between Big E and Otis Dozovic. That was quite fun to see. I wouldn't mind a singles match between those two big men. And we then had Heavy Machinery eliminate the New Day. The Bar then eliminated Heavy Machinery, and then the Usos picking up the win after I think it was Jey Uso hitting the splash on Sheamus to pick up the pinfall. So we're going to get at Elimination Chamber the Usos once again in a tag team match. I don't mind them; they're really, really good. But let's get some new. We need to shake up the tag team division a lot at the moment, because it's even Usos and New Day seem to be swapping it again, and it's just like, okay, I don't mind it, but this is it, okay? This is it. Hopefully, I just can't... Hopefully the Usos win it. Hopefully the Usos win it, because I don't know if I can live with myself if Shane McMahon beats the Usos. Oh dear. The Miz has then come out for this was like the main event. That tag team match was the main event match, but there was still 20 minutes left, I think it was, and this is all down to this promo that we had. Daniel Bryan comes out and says that I didn't win fully on Sunday. You won, the audience, your children won, and your children's children won, because I am the planet's champion, and AJ Styles is getting nowhere near this championship. And he also said that AJ Styles called him a hypocrite, and he said he is a hypocrite, because he's been carrying around this title, which was made from a cow, and then he called the cow Daisy, which is a very generic name for a cow, and he told a story about Daisy, and it was just like, just even more weird. I don't understand. I just don't understand. He then threw the WWE title in the bin, which Eric Rowan brought out. So Eric Rowan came out with the Titantron said Rowan with the recycle symbol as the O. I don't know. He came out. He got a trash can from ringside. They threw the title in the bin, and Rowan had the new WWE title in a bag, and it was a title made out of hemp and wood and something else. I can't remember what. And it looks quite good, to be fair. I quite like the look of it. A bit weird, but I quite like the look of it, and it makes sense to Daniel Bryan's character to do that, and he's been teasing it for a while. And AJ Styles then came out and said, have you been smoking what you've made the stuff up of, obviously hemp and whatnot? And he came out and came down to the ring, but he's quickly cut off by Randy Orton. And Randy Orton, before he could speak, they just shoved a commercial break in there. And it was just like, okay, take me out of it a little bit then. And as we came back, Jeff Hardy was in the ring, and Mustafa Ali was midway through a sentence when they came back. And it was just like, what the hell's going on? And then Randy Orton stuttered on his lines and said that, didn't you get beat by a woman? Didn't you get thrown over the top rope by a woman? And then Mustafa Ali stuttered over his lines and said, that's only because I pinned and then I chucked it over. It's like, it was just really awkward. And then Samoa Joe came out and killed everyone, especially Jeff Hardy. He came out and he said to Jeff, I don't even know what you're doing here. I've already dealt with you. And Jeff went to speak, and he said, no, Jeff, shut up. Treat this like an AA meeting, and you shut your mouth while I share with the group. No one can touch Joe on the mic. It's evident. Everyone said this before. It's nothing new. He then goes one by one and says, Mustafa Ali, you might have got lucky, but you said that my eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie either, because the last time we met in a match, they were shut closed after I pelted you so hard into the ring post. He then said to AJ, he then said to Jeff, like, I've already sorted you out, why are you doing it? He then went up to AJ and went, AJ, be honest to me, how's Wendy getting on? And AJ just punched him right in the face, and a massive brawl broke out. Daniel Bryan got on the mic once again and said, I don't get why you're all fighting, because none of you are going to get a shot at this title. And then Triple H just pops up on the Titantron and says, Daniel, you're right, none of these guys are going to face you for the title, because they're all going to face you inside Elimination Chamber, which is 3 weeks away, is it? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? So we're going to get Daniel Bryan, the champion, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy in an Elimination Chamber for the WWE title. And then they just started brawling, and then it just cut out, just ended. It was a really messy SmackDown, in my opinion. Just really messy. I didn't like it. I think I gave it a 2.25 stars, which I think it's generous giving it that much. 2.25 stars, yeah. I think it's generous giving it that much. But the Becky stuff at the start, Becky Charlotte stuff, that was really good. The tag team match was fun in the middle. Everything else was just either weird, messy, or I didn't like it. It was a shame. Oh, and also Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville just announced that they were going to be in the tag team elimination chamber, whereas everyone on Raw has to qualify. So that was just continuity, man. Make everyone qualify. It'll make it feel bigger then. But Absolution are in there, so good. 2.25 stars. The worst show I've seen this year. Like I said, some people love this show. It wasn't for me, though. It just wasn't for me. If you did like this review, though, please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe if you're new around here. We haven't done so already. And I shall see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching.